in the cabbage.
Well, let's get it.
Test.
Yeah, we're live.
Welcome to In the Cabbage. This is crazy.
This is pretty bananas right now that we're actually doing this.
I'm Tommy Swain, Andrew Witt. Please subscribe, please listen, please download, like. And just a reminder, keep swinging. Welcome back to In the Cabbage. I'm your boy, Tommy Swain. To my right, or your left, Andrew Witt.
Hey, what is up, baby?
Welcome back to the comfy, cozy corner cuddle
CQ.
session. We are, just hanging out over here. And since we gotten back, we were actually watching the in-laws house over the weekend.
Yeah, dude, love that.
Nice little setup in the living room.
Okay. You were telling me they got the new sound bar. They got like a new TV.
Yeah, 65
Do they still have
inch.
does Mr. Vavrock still have his like recliner chair?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that thing is gold.
Yeah,
you can't get rid of that.
Sitting in that chair, watching, some Wimbledon, just hanging out over, the short end of a weekend for us, which was, a great weekend. We actually, you and I went to over to my mom's house for a little pizza party.
Yeah.
So my brother watched a TikTok one day, right? And he saw you can build a pizza oven out of 50 bricks and 2 concrete pavers. And he was obsessed. It was I think right towards the end of COVID.
Which is such a weird thing for your brother to get obsessed about, right? Like where did that come from?
I have no clue.
He has not done any sort of manpower or what's the word, handyman. He's not a handy kind of guy.
He got better since he started working at the community center.
I guess so.
He that, and he also used to redo his rooms every 6 months.
That's true.
So
that is true.
So sometimes these things hook onto him.
Yeah,
they're few and far between though.
Yeah, yeah,
and it's
I
me
would
never.
say so.
Me never. But
right.
He called me one day. He's like, "We're making pizzas. Come help me move these bricks." So we buy all the bricks, and we realize we're 1 brick short. So we have 49 bricks, but we ended up finding some shitty brick in the house somewhere. And we threw it in there, and so we you know what?
What's the whole cost of that situation too? Because 50 bricks,
$40 or something.
Yeah, that's a really big steal. If you're gonna make an oven that you're just gonna abuse and you don't even have to really worry about,
right?
I mean, I don't know what the regular pizza ovens go for, but I know they're not cheap.
No, they're really, really expensive. And this works.
Are they a couple grand?
No, there's probably they're probably $500, $600 ones.
Oh, okay. That's not too over the top.
No, but they're not also the top of the line. So I'm sure
you could really blow it out and get something for $1,500,
right.
$2, $3, $4 grand.
So the idea is you put wood on the bottom of it, right? And you get it to kind of get a coal or a fire. And then they put another concrete paver on top of that with a little gap in the back. So the fire hits the top of the bricks, the other concrete slab. And
yep.
It actually does make a really great oven.
Yeah, it's impressive
how good it can actually be.
Out of just 50 bricks and a couple cinder blocks, that thing's money.
Yeah, it's
also up to your stomach height too. It's not it's way down on the ground.
No, we lifted it, so technically it's supposed to be on the ground, but we figured out we could just stack more
some
bricks,
cinder blocks under there
or whatever.
Right?
We ended up moving it up way higher, which is so nice. And Mikey does a great job with the fire. I lost all my technique on how to stretch the dough. And
you
all
got
that
really into it because you were doing it. I would say once every 3 months or so, and you were kind of whipping up some pizzas over there.
I was getting into being able to stretch out the dough. I was actually getting pretty good at it too, and getting it off. But I lost all that touch and flair. There was a guy there at the party who actually used to work at a pizza place.
Yeah, was it Adam?
Yeah, Adam. So he threw out the dough, which was great.
This guy was slinging pies.
Yeah, he was working again. Who knew he was going to come and do a 9 to 5?
Dude, he was putting in some major hours. And you know who's no worse than? I mean, I'm probably the worst person to roll out dough. I don't get it. I have zero touch. There is one thing that I literally cannot do. And I feel like I'm pretty competent in a lot of things.
Yeah,
pizza dough is not one of them. It is not my friend. I struggle with this thing. I'm wrestling with it. There's holes in this thing. I'm patching it back over. And then eventually I just say, you know what? F it, it's going in the oven. I don't care.
Right.
And it comes out like looking like this hemorrhage thing, and it's all grotesque. It's ugly.
Yeah.
And a pizza is supposed to be one of the most like beautiful things after you like pull it out of the oven, like all the cheese is bubbling on there. It's
I
like,
used to do it to the point
hard.
where it had like a good crust on it. Like the way I was folding it used to be really good.
Dude. Mine has no crust. It's just like flat, and it's kind of like it's almost like just like a flatbread. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's a flatbread type pizza.
I think if I just like watched like one more YouTube video, I can do it again. I think if you just actually like, watched the videos and tried, you'd get it.
Yeah, but by the time I'm like actually trying to make the dough and like make my
You're
pizza,
starving, you're ready to go.
I'm starved, but I'm also like 5 drinks in.
Right.
And I could honestly care less at that point.
You just eat something.
Yeah, I just need like substance.
But it's good. I mean, the oven gets hot enough. It does get like a crisp on the bottom and the top.
It gets a good like 500-600 degrees is my guess. Because pizza cooks in like 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah,
that's fast.
It's fun. But the big party makes it a little difficult because everyone's waiting for the oven.
Yeah.
But a small party, it's super easy. If you're doing it just for like a family of 5.
Because you can't throw 3 pizzas in the oven at the same time.
No, you just keep you have them all ready to go, and you just keep throwing them in there, and you bring them out, and everyone gets a slice.
It's a one at a time situation.
It's fun though, but that wasn't the highlight of our weekend, buddy.
No, not quite.
The highlight of our weekend was our club championship at Miles Square.
And you flexed how much money you just won over the weekend?
I think I won like $227 or something.
No, you won. I thought you won $220 just off of your individual days and overall club championship money. And then you got a skin on top of that, right?
No skin.
Or closest to that. Oh yeah, closest to pin. Mm-hmm. That was 37, right? Or $38.
Yeah.
So that's 260 almost, 257.
Yeah. So I ended up taking second net overall in the tournament.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Which I think was one place higher than I was, and in a division higher. So last year they had a C division. This year they have A and B.
Dude, I could have sworn you won the C division. You won the C in net.
Because you won the C. I think I got second net.
No. I'm like pretty positive.
We'll have to go back, but it's fine.
You were a C flight champion net, and I was B flight champion gross last year.
Right.
I'm like, I mean,
almost
we gotta fact check it, but I'm in the 99%.
I have a polo. Now I think they give out polos to people in second place.
You do have a polo,
right?
And it says like B net champion
or C flight.
C flight champion net. Or something like that. I'm pretty positive. I'm gonna back you up there.
One stroke off of it, but overall, what a great weekend of golf for me.
Dude, you came out guns a-blazing. And I want to talk a little bit about your round. And I want to kind of like, because I want to talk about it through my eyes, and I want to hear about it through in your perspective a little bit as well.
I love that. We're gonna try to talk about this. You know, the boys have a hard time with jumping around. We seem to do it very often. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So we've had multiple discussions at the podcast meetings of we're going to try to be a bit more chronological.
Yeah, we got to be a little
like with the storytelling.
Chronological order, baby.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you. We're going to piggyback off one another here. I think... Yeah, dude, we even made a freaking Instagram video about it because it's almost laughable at this point.
Right. I don't know how people follow us, so we're gonna do the better job of describing and maybe being a little bit of a longer podcast to make sure we get the stories down a bit more straightforward.
That's okay, and I think we're gonna cover you first, and then we can cover me, and we'll go through first day, second day, and then we'll do the opposite for me.
Let me give a little description of what this weekend was, so people maybe who didn't listen. Miles Square is our local public track that Andrew and I are members of. And once a year, they throw a tournament you have to qualify for. And the only way to qualify is by playing 3 golf tournaments prior to the men's club championship. It's that's the only thing you got to do is play 3 events. Super easy. It's a 2-day event. And there's money for Saturday. There's money for Sunday. And there's money for overall.
Yep.
And so if you normally have one good day, you're going to win some cash. And there's usually a bit more money in the pool as well.
Exactly, because it's just a bigger field. And not to mention, you also have your net skins, your gross skins, and your closest to the pin. So, there's always potential for low-hanging fruit if you have a good hole. Everyone's got a good hole every once in a while. Even if you're having a worse day, you can find some magic for 2-3 shots, put something together. So, there's always opportunity to win some money.
Yeah, and I moved up a flight. I was C flight last year, B flight this year, at a lower handicap as well. I was an 11, which is low for me, especially for the golf I've been playing recently.
Yeah. But you know what, though?
Like high 80s, low 90s.
We were talking about your handicap, though. I think you were floating around the 11 to 13 handicap, I would say.
When I was playing well.
Yeah.
But I haven't been playing well.
But it's also over a course of 10 rounds.
Right.
And so maybe you're thinking in your head, recent rounds, I should be a 14 or 15.
I just love Miles Square in general now.
It's a great course, dude. It's a fantastic course.
It's just so much fun to play.
I love it. We've played that course so many more times than any other public track.
And it doesn't get defeated.
And I still get excited to go play that course every single time. We play it monthly.
It's just it's a really gettable course. It's really easy to like have a good round there. If you put a ball in the fairway and you're hitting greens, you're going to have a good time. But also, if your shot's a little off, and now you're starting in the rough's a little thicker than it used to be. You're normally under some trees, which can give you issues.
They also had the course when we were playing it, I don't know if they geared it up for this championship a little bit, but the conditions were a little bit, I would say, a little bit tougher than
the
last.
Greens were
firm
at points, really firm, and the rough was pretty thick, and the course was in spectacular condition
for the amount of play that this course gets. And now it used to be 2 18s.
Right.
Don't know why they got rid of the other one. It's a little bit of BS. We're going to skip past that because it is what it is. But my point is that now there's only 1 18-hole course, and they kind of combine the two. But it gets a lot of play.
A lot of play.
And so it's going from like 6 a.m. to like actually from sunup to sundown. It's booked on that course.
Totally. And it gets slammed after us. And we had a good tee time. I loved our tee time. 7:45 was perfect.
Yeah, it was actually kind of a perfect tee time. It was great.
Played with two really good guys. They were in the B fight with me, and they didn't have their A games. I would say both days they both kind of struggled. But anyway, so yeah, starting off with me. I mean, we had some ideas of what I wanted to focus on. I think the night before we played, I told you I really wanted to work on a routine, like a practice routine for a golf shot. I think we mentioned it on the podcast as well. And so I used to go outside. When I'm outside, I pick up a club, and I practice what felt comfortable to me. And it just makes sense, a routine before a golf shot, right? Like
everyone has a free throw routine. Everyone's got a routine when they step on a bike, any sport, any like prepping for any sort of play. You have a routine before the play starts.
Like before the baseball is pitched, maybe it's like you hit your glove and then you step into the ball.
Exactly.
It's almost like you're locking into a different part of your brain because now it's something that's happening and you're much more focused. Right. Which for me is very hard because I'm a fast player, and also when I play really fast, I make a lot of mistakes.
Your mind tends to wander a little bit at times when it's either one, we're slow, or two, we're playing slow and the group ahead is pulling ahead. Totally. And then there's people behind us, and you're always worried about the people behind us and the people in our group and what you can be doing to play faster, which is great. It's great golf etiquette, but at the same time, it really does take away from your shot that you're going to hit.
Totally. Because sometimes I'm just like so focused on speeding it up.
Exactly. And you're worried about this and that, and then you forget about what the purpose is of you being there, and that's obviously to hit the golf ball in the hole as fewer like strokes as possible. Not worried about all this other crazy stuff that's going on. So I think you were very successful obtaining a routine and being present with every shot. From the last podcast, we were saying in goals we were wanting to set, you wanted to get a routine locked down and you wanted to be present for as many shots as possible.
Right.
And I think you did that, 3 to 4 fold better than you have in any other tournament. That I've seen you in.
The Sunday, anyway. So from hole 1, after I hit my driver shot, which was okay. Actually, it was a really good tee shot. It started off right down the middle.
It was great. But before we get going, I think it would be great if you walk through what
my routine is.
Yeah, what your routine is now.
Yeah. So
and how it helps you tap in.
So what I would do would be So you have to work the routine for who you are as a person. There's people who play really long golf. Maybe they like a bit more of a routine from start to finish, like even before approaching the golf ball. I just wanted something to pull me out of it, to let me maybe calm some nerves down and focus what I was doing. So I would step up to the ball, I'd do one practice swing. All I'm looking for in this practice swing is a feel. Clipping the grass correctly or whatever, picking the right club, feeling my feet, feeling the lie, hit it once. That's what I want. I would step back 2 or 3 steps. Club in the right hand, and I'm kind of like twirling it. I'm like moving it. I just want to keep my right hand like some sort of feel.
Right, nice and active.
Big, deep breath through the nostril and out through the mouth.
It's almost like a yoga breath. It's like as large as you can. Big, deep breath out through the mouth.
I loved it. It was a big, deep breath, and then I would step to the ball, look at my target, maybe one more breath if I felt I needed it, or sometimes it would just be a point and shoot, and then swing.
Yeah. I really think it would made you very successful for, one, that deep breath almost like releases everything else that's going on out there. It's like I have my number, I have the lie, I have the shot, I have my aim point, I have the feel. Now, deep breath and like focus on executing that.
Right.
And it felt like you really were working in a very like orderly fashion when you were like, okay, how's my lie? How's my feet? How far am I? Where's the trouble? Where do I need to aim? What's the feel? Okay, great. Boom. I have all that stuff now. And then take a deep breath. And then now it's time to step in and hit that shot.
And it really did help a lot.
Yeah, dude.
Like, especially, which was surprising because I didn't think it was going to be that big of a difference. And I thought I was going to get over it. But after round 1, there were some chip shots I forgot to do it on, and they didn't go well. I'm like, I didn't really like follow a routine there.
Sure.
Maybe if I did that, I would be more successful. But so starting into the tournament, I would say the routine is going to be something I do for the rest of my life.
Of course.
Maybe the routine changes, varying.
Of course. Yeah, you maybe need to tailor it here and there to kind of suit your game a little bit and what it needs.
For right now, that's where it's at, and that's staying. It's just too helpful for me as a player. I think anyone who's playing too fast, maybe has a wandering mind like I do, who has a hard time clicking in to what's going on in that moment, do this routine because it helps you like lock in. And I'm not saying like when you're driving a car, you can be your goofy self.
Whatever you want to do.
Let the mind go. But for that 15 seconds you decide you're going to hit a golf shot, you should be a bit more locked in. And it helped.
It's funny. There was like a stat, and a golf round takes 4.5 hours on average, and let's say you hit 80 shots, and you're only playing golf for like 10 minutes of that. Right. It's kind of crazy.
But you're really you're not even playing half the time. It's way less than that.
Playing like 10. I mean, if you want to talk about all of like your reads and everything, you're playing for a little bit longer, but you actually physically hitting a golf ball, it's like 3 minutes or something like that.
It's crazy.
I saw like a little stat. I'm butchering the numbers.
No, but
the point is there. It's for like less than 5 minutes that you're actually like hitting the golf ball.
Which maybe it's the stat that's even showing that's like how
much of a big factor the mental game is.
Right. Like it's something you can't really, downgrade.
Yeah, and exactly.
Something I've needed to work on in my life in general is, my wandering mind.
And dude, and you came out and you had a clear intention, and you made it very apparent from hole 1 through like hole 5. I mean, you came out rock solid on all of your swings. You hit a great drive on hole 1. You're right in the middle of the fairway. You have like a sand wedge in your hand. You had like 95 yards out, did your whole routine, and like one bounced on the front of the fringe, rolled it up to 2 feet, tapped in a birdie. Right off the rip. And I'm like, oh, this man's kind of cooking. But obviously I'm not going to say anything. Anything can happen. It's hole 1. But the fact that you come out with a statement birdie like that was huge.
Yeah.
Hole 2, a little bit of a rocky-ish like shot into like the left side, I believe, or right side, and like semi-rough.
Left side of the fairway.
Yeah, and then like you hit like a great second shot in, but it was like I thought maybe you were in the first cut and it like kind of jumped on you a little bit.
Right.
You hit it like straight to the back of the hole, but this thing never left the flagstick. You hit like a 10-yard fade and it was coming right back onto the on it.
Right.
And dude, it was rinse and repeat, and that was our like famous saying over the weekend. It was like our little tagline, and legitimately for the next 3 holes after that, for the first 5 holes, you had on hole 4. On that par 5, you ripped a drive, then you had hybrid in, and legitimately
par 5
threw it straight over the flagstick, dude. Yeah, you had water in the left, bunkers right. You hit a great drive, perfect middle of the fairway, and you step up with another hybrid. And I mean, if you hit it 10 yards shorter, it would have been like a foot away from the cup. You hit it straight over the flagstick.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, that's the best golf I've ever played through those 5 holes.
Yeah. And I'm honestly like, dude, this man's throwing an equivalent no-hitter right now through 7. Like, this is the unspoken rule. I could not say anything.
Right.
I'm like, let's just keep this thing rolling, baby.
Yeah, it felt great. And, you know, being a high handicapper, and I think last year I had a real hard time because I'd have heaters like that last year. I'd go through like 2 or 3 full holes where I play really well, and I would kind of crumble because I was like, ooh, I might break 80, or I might have like the lowest front 9 I've ever played, and it would kind of.
I feel like you've gotten past that a little bit.
Yeah, like
right?
I'm not flying too close to the sun. I know a big hole is going to come. I know a double or a triple is looming, and what my goal was is when it did happen, I wanted to make sure it didn't continue. It needed to be like a bogey or a par, or like it wasn't a triple, double, triple. Round over.
Right. It's a triple and it's a bounce back right away.
Right.
It's like, okay, that was going to happen. No big deal. Let's rattle off a few pars here.
Which ended up happening.
So thank goodness we actually have the scorecards here. This is going to be great to kind of like track our rounds a little bit and help you all understand where we're coming from and help us too. But yeah, you were 1 over through 6 with 2 birdies. And it's just like really solid work right there by you, you know?
2 birdies is pretty impressive through 6 holes for me.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you're lucky if you get 2 birdies in an 18.
Right.
So, I mean, anyone is actually, if you like look at all the stats, and there's not a lot of birdies out there for the regular weekend warrior out there, you know? But then you had a little bit of a slip up on number 7, but you know, you had a terrible, terrible break. And here's that big hole that we were talking about, that it's going to rear its head at some point. And so you were preparing for it, and you got the worst breaks of all breaks. I actually didn't see where your ball was, but you told me that it was like basically on a tree, like in the tree root, basically, like on the trunk of the tree.
One of my men's clubs, you can move all balls off the base of a tree that way. They just don't want you to hit them because you hit a tree, you hurt yourself.
Right.
But I didn't know the ruling here, so I had to couldn't even get a full swing at it. It was like a punch. The second cut in the Cabbage ate it up.
Yep.
And I was in the Cabbage thick, bad shot out, like hit a tree, bad shot out. So it just snowballed. But I think I bounced back with a par on the next hole, on a par 3.
Yeah,
there.
and you did. And you hit a great little, that first shot in. You made a triple on 7, but then it was a quick bounce back with 2 pars.
Yeah.
On 8 and 9, dude. And I love our little thing here too, because we actually have some X's and O's, little hugs and kisses here for fairways and greens and reg, which is all time.
Yeah,
it's a good little fun, easy stat for us to track to kind of like gauge where we need to be putting a little bit more focus on our game.
Right. And so we don't need to break down every shot, you know. I just want to get overall highlights of it. So after that, I played okay through like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think I did like a bogey or something.
Yeah, I got you. You want to talk about it?
14, I went par. Wow. Yeah, really cleaned up the last 14 through whatever.
Yeah, you went 40 on the front, dude, which is one of your better front 9s.
And then 41 on the back, which is really tough for me. So I shot an 81, which is my lowest round I've ever played.
Yeah.
In the club championship, so I was pretty hyped.
That's going to get you somewhere.
10 of 18 fairways and 8 of 14 greens.
Flip that.
Really?
Flip that.
8 of 14 fairways.
There we go.
10 of 18 greens.
Yeah.
Correct. My apologies. That makes
and
sense.
I really think that it was the preparation and the routine.
The drills.
Yes.
I also repped out my drills in the morning before the fairway, or before we started playing, and also the putting as well. Getting a little tee drill going in the morning helped me out.
I think it's one of those things that's great, and if you find a drill that you love, do it right before you play, and it's not going to hinder you if it's a drill that like kind of checks you and like calibrates you in a way. You know, the putting stroke maybe might feel a little bit off at 6:30 in the morning or whatever. Like, just roll a couple putts with a couple tees if that works for you. Great. Like, I went to the course and like I do this drill where I just bang out 3-footers and I put 4 tees down. I didn't do it before, but I did it the day before on like or Thursday or whatever when I went to go and prepare for the tournament. And just like I put my putter down and I put it like 3.5 feet. Put a tee down on 4 corners. Got to make 2 in a row in each one. And if I don't, then I got to start all over again. And then I move the tees like 45 degrees or whatever. So like another, so I'm playing north, south, east, west. Now I'm playing northwest, northeast. You know what I'm saying?
You're moving them.
Plus sign to an X. That's what we're kind of looking at here.
Love that.
And that's a great drill for me too, because it just, again, it's focused a little bit on left to right, right to left, hitting my spot, committing to a line, and trusting the stroke. And so
totally,
it's a great thing to kind of just calibrate you a little bit. And so you did that with your swing, you had that with your putting game, and you had a mental calibration too before every shot. And it clearly showed. You came out and shot your career low on Saturday.
Right.
81.
And we were hyped.
And you backed it up again on Sunday, and it was just it was more of the same.
Right. Sunday was even tougher. Fighting in a hangover, no sleep.
We had some elements battling against us here because we went over to your mom's house.
I thought, after the pizza party, I thought, no way I'm coming out and gonna play with what I had. And I sure enough came out and played, which would have been my other career low at a tougher course, which was I shot an 82. But the most infuriating thing with this weekend, buddy.
Yeah,
so I don't think I've ever beaten you straight up.
Stroke play, no, but match play.
Never beaten you. I've beaten you with match, but never stroke.
Yeah.
And that's straight up especially. And really had an opportunity here this week. You beat me by 1 stroke on Saturday and on Sunday.
Yeah.
And that was pretty upsetting for me.
You were right there.
I was right there.
And you were playing some unbelievable golf.
I was playing really good golf.
Just career all-time rounds.
And I couldn't beat you still, which was so tough for me. You know what my favorite shot of the weekend was before we start breaking down your round here?
Yeah, let's hear it.
And it might be a no shot you remember, but I believe it was on day 2. Hole...
Is this you? Are you talking about you or me?
Me.
Okay.
Hole 16.
Day 2?
Day 2. So it's after the long par 3.
Yep.
I just birdied it. We're going to... Sorry, it's the short par 3 over water. I just parred it.
Yeah.
We're going to a par 4. It's really, really tight. And...
oh, dude, you birdied that one.
Yeah.
You birdied 15, which is the par 3 over water.
Yeah, birdie 15, par 3 over water.
Nice.
Where I got to like within 4 feet for the CP on that.
Yeah, that was really money.
So then I play the 8th hardest hole on the course, one of my nemesis holes, which is 16. 16, 17, 18, and 15 are some of the hardest on
it's
the
a
course
closing. It's a tough closing stretch, honestly, at Miles Square. And if you are hitting the ball at all offline a little bit, you're going to get punished, and the par 4s are long enough, and they sometimes play into the wind most of the time as well.
Yeah,
if it is
tough
gusting.
and it's tight. So I end up getting away really lucky with a drive. Ends up underneath a tree, a little past it. But there's, I'm short-sided myself with the green. There's a bunker in front of the flag, and I can't hit a high normal shot because of a tree in front of me, kind of hanging down.
Yeah.
So now
in the rough, and you had a downhill. I know
line.
exactly what you're talking about too.
So it was a tough chip, and I really wanted to finish out pars because I would tie my all-time low, possibly even beat it at that point and shoot like an 80. So I really wanted to get this on the green to give myself a 2-putt for a par. and the shot was really difficult. And I just, did the full routine. I had a club in my hand, put the club away, grabbed a different club, and really just felt comfortable over it. And basically what I went with was a 9-iron, a little bit in the front of my stance.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of was like, and I just got like kind of chip at it, like throw my hands at it.
Yeah.
And it just barely went over the bunker and skipped onto the green for a 2-putt par. And to me, that was like, I would have never hit that shot last year because 1, the pressure of where I was at. 2, like I would have been so hasty about what was going on. And 3, wasn't like clear in my intention of what I was trying to do.
Sure.
And I think overall for me, it really encompassed like what I was trying to do.
Yeah. No, I definitely understood the magnitude of the shot because of where you stood in the tournament.
Right.
But having some reflection on that on your end, it really does bring to light why that was such a big moment for you, because it was a very difficult shot because the pin's tucked all the way in the front. You have to hit over a massive bunker.
And I'm awful in the bunker.
And you don't want to and if you hit the tree at all, you're screwed. If you hit the shot at all, you're screwed because now you're going to be like way in the back of the green and it's really severely sloped back to front. So it's an extremely difficult putt. You're not going to get that down to 2.
No.
And he hit one to like 20 feet and it like rolled off a little bit left and then you 2-putted beautifully.
Yeah, I was on the green. I was just really hyped because you can almost feel some shots are going to make up your tournament. Just, like if I can come away with a par instead of a bogey on this hole, or if I can bogey instead of double, that would be like big for my tournament.
Yeah.
And I knew if I came away with a par on this hole, that like
it would keep you rolling because
keep me going. Usually
you don't get into trouble quite often. And then you were able to save yourself from that situation,
Yeah.
I think it was, dude, it was great. It was one of those big moments. And yeah, dude, what a well thought out shot. I was a little bit in the weeds at that point, so it wasn't.
Oh yeah, your mental was tossed at that point.
Yeah, I was having a tough time out there.
We'll have to get into that now.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting second net, won a bunch of cash. I had a great time. Really another eye-opening weekend of golf for me. Now, like, will I play like that always because this routine? Probably not. But at least I have something that I can fall back to where if everything else is falling off the tracks, I at least have some sort of stability.
Exactly. And you can always come back to that. So, and I got something here before we dive into my round to kind of break up a little bit of the golf round right now. Your boys over here in the C cubed. Mm-hmm. We had a sleepover on Friday night. We did have a sleepover on Friday night.
Right.
And what a blast from the past that was.
Yeah, I don't know. We decided the wives, we were staying at the in-laws, so the house was open. I thought, we were going to be closer to the golf course from my house where I was at.
Way closer.
Way deep Orange County.
Yeah, way back over there. I don't know what the drive is for you guys, but it's you.
Like 30 minutes from here.
30. It's
30 minutes from here. So it would have been like a 50, maybe like a 45-minute drive in the morning. It's tough. So we decided, you know what? Why don't we just have a little sleepover? And we came over, we hung out, watched documentaries, talked about old times, and it was a fun little sleepover for the boys.
Shared a bed, cuddled a little bit.
Yeah, nice king bed though. Yeah. We're not rocking a full or a queen where you have to.
That would have been tough. That would have been tough.
But it was fun. It's still like so funny that we like to do those things, but it's great.
It's one of those nostalgic things. You can walk down memory lane, and
we also shared a room with each other for longer than I have with my wife currently.
Yeah.
So if we put in that, we share a room with each other for like 6 years or something like that.
Yeah, 5, I think.
5 years.
It's too many to count, honestly. Yeah.
I mean, and on the summer before that, I was basically living with you too.
Yeah.
So, even though I had my stuff, it's great for hearing you looking into my golf game. It's fun to hear that you got excited, and I think that's really important in golfing in life as well.
Buddy, I feel like, sorry, keep going. You feel like you were on a good tangent there.
It's something I need to work on as well. I used to be like way more invested into like other people's things going on, and I find myself sometimes so wrapped up in like what I have going on, especially like with responsibilities and my own like personal battles I'm fighting in my head, that I sometimes lose like connectability because I go to lunch And I think golf does a good job for me to like click me into like what other people's successes and being happy for them. And I would like to, after this weekend, work a bit more on that personally. Like,
sure.
Being a bit more clicked in when people talk to me and hearing them a bit clearer.
Okay.
Just
in general.
Yeah. Just in general, but like, and understanding when people are talking to me and they're excited about something. Sometimes,
sure. Sometimes you have your own thoughts about something and they're predetermined. And so whatever they're saying is not aligning with what is going on in your head. And so sometimes it's hard to see that side.
Right. Or something's going on where I'm in an event and I'm not paying attention fully or, and I think that's robbing yourself of like joy almost because you're taking yourself out of the moment with somebody maybe you care about. And so I want to be a bit more present when people or things are going on around me.
I think that's a good takeaway. I think you're a great playing partner to play with, by the way. So don't really beat yourself up over that.
No, I'm not. I know, like for golf, I always try to throw things out and tips and tricks and all that
you were really on my bandwagon all weekend because you knew how much I was struggling, and it was never easy. And I looked at the scorecard and I like went through fucking war and back, and I was like, okay, what did we card here today? This is going to be really ugly.
And I'm going to tell you why I thought before, like a little breakdown.
Take it away, buddy.
So coming into this, I really thought from where your golf game has been at and from what you've been telling me, your golf game, and from what I've been seeing has been on fire. You've been really hot with the driver, which is, if your driver's cooking, your wedge game now is so locked down with these 3/4, 3 halves, or 3/4 shots you're doing, half shots you're doing with these wedges that you don't miss a lot of greens anymore that are so wayward with these wedges, which is part of your issue back in the day.
Of course, yeah.
So if you're finding fairways, or at least getting close to a fairway.
If I don't have a tree or I'm hitting out of the first cut, like I'm in play.
Your game's normally cooking because that means a wedge is in your hand.
Right.
Sometimes when you get a wedge out of your hand, you get some irons going. That's when the shots become a little bit more wayward.
Of course. And I got to hit like a high cut over a tree, and it's like I don't have that.
Yeah,
like
it's tough.
I can't hit a green from 160 out hitting a high cut. That's just not working.
So you didn't have the best stuff, but I think that was probably the most promising thing about it was that we thought you were couldn't be playing worse. Like played worse clearly than you did last year, but it felt like I was dumping on you. It felt like I was going to beat you by like 4 or 5 strokes.
Yeah. It really did feel like that, dude. And it's not an exaggeration. I felt like I was getting beat up out there, and I was just taking haymakers left and right from the golf course. And quite honestly, to myself too, like I just could not get off the tee with any sort of accuracy
at all.
It was abysmal. It was atrocious, dude. You hit more fairways than I did on the first day than I did on both days. In 36 holes of golf, you hit more fairways than I did. I hit 8 fairways all weekend.
That's so tough.
And it was brutal, dude.
And for you to shoot 80 and 81 is extremely impressive from where your golf game is at currently. Because that means like the blow-up 85s are pretty much gone and dusted. Unless we're playing a really tough course and you've never played before.
Of course.
I'm talking like tournament golf. You're not throwing up 85s, 86s anymore.
I would be really bummed if I carded an 85, 86. I would definitely feel that because I felt over the weekend, the whole time, I was just in grind mode the whole time. It was never easy. And when it was a little bit easy, it almost felt like a breath of fresh air, and it was never a constant thing.
No, it was like you were drowning.
Yes,
and
dude.
you grabbed a hold of something and you pulled your head up for a second. And you took a deep breath. And
I'm back down to the trenches,
someone
dude.
Yank you back down. It really was. I felt like I was just in your hole all weekend, just in your manhole, just trying to hand you ammo, cigar,
dude. It was
drink.
I was taking anything.
Just trying to keep the head level. But you know what was great? Because every time I'd come up and I'd be like, I got a bogey that one. What'd you get there? And my bogey was probably like drive the fairway, short green, bad chip on, 2 putt out.
Mm-hmm.
Yours was like
way
20 yards left and then another tree. Like hit a tree, come down, put it on the green from like a ridiculous, like 115 out, middle green.
Put it like 6 feet or whatever, and then make a putt.
And make a putt.
And par.
And you didn't really make many putts this weekend either. Deep putts. You didn't miss anything short.
I did on Sunday. And I was, to be fair, was striking the driver a skosh better on Sunday. I hit 6 fairways compared to my 2 on the first day.
Yeah.
But I did miss like 2 4-footers, and I 3-putted twice. Which
is tough for you because your putting game's been nails. By the way, your short game right now, is just on another level. The wedge feel, the 3/4 wedges have been, pick it up and drop it where you want at this point.
It's been nice.
It's not really leaving anywhere.
I think a lot of it was, again, my, because we went over your goals, talking about mine over the weekend. And, I wanted to have a clear intention when I was about 125 and in. I wanted to know where the pin was, and I wanted to be very, very locked into a position to not get suckered into a pin. If it was in a tough position, especially if it's long, greens being a little firm, I tend to miss long anyways. That is my miss, and I did not want to miss long with a pin in the back, and I did not do that. I don't think all weekend.
No, I don't remember you blasting any shots super far along. Maybe like one hopper on the green,
but it was
rolled off.
Yeah, barely. that was a weird one. That was a weird one. As I do know which one you're talking about. The one I did miss long on, I was actually able to save and made an up and down. It was way below. And hit
that
this
was
flop
the
shot.
The best chip shot I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You blast one way past. You got a lucky break. It was on the fence line.
Yep.
Almost OB. And all the in the cabbage stuff out there, the thick cut is actually very grabby and thick.
It's kind of crabgrassy.
And you don't really know which way your ball is going to spin or how it's going to come out. So it's really a lot of feel, and you got to clip it pretty clean. And you're on a downhill, got to hit it up to another downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hit it bad, you're either going to be stuck in the grass because it's not going to roll to the green, guaranteed.
Right.
You hit a super perfectly high shot, one hopped the crabgrass, one hopped the fringe, and perfectly rolled past the hole 4 feet.
And then just
putted it in for par.
Yeah, made the 5 or 6 footer.
It was just an all time up and down. And that was just the theme of what your weekend of golf was, which is just danger shot. You put a 7-iron or 6-iron or an 8-iron 80 yards left.
Dude, I hit an 8-iron 80 yards left
of a hole.
I was on the other tee box, and I had to bring my rangefinder with me.
That's
on a par 3. That's tough.
That's tough. There was another one you hit a 4 or 5-iron, 80 yards or 90 yards right of the green again, almost another OB. And I think you saved that for a bogey.
Yeah, that one was double. That was my worst hole for sure, because I remember that one very, very vividly, because on the first round, God, disaster struck on hole 9. It was atrocious. It's a tough tee shot. You have to kind of play a straight to cut ball off the tee shot, off the blue tees.
Right.
Which my miss that day was a hook. It wasn't a subtle draw. It was left.
Which means missing left. An extreme left.
Oh, yeah. And I just didn't really have control over that. And so I then blocked one, and it hit the tree, lands straight onto the tee box on the whites.
But right where I'm playing.
And I'm teeing off with you guys right after. So that was
so funny.
That was brutal. Managed to save par though.
That's so unreal
on that first round. And so then I get back to that same hole on the following day, hit a beautiful little drive, a 2-yard cut.
Yeah.
Bullet shot, 280 drive. And I don't know what I have, 210, 220 into this.
Really attacking this. There's not much trouble up there. It's just don't miss left.
Yeah. And missing right is not even in my head.
Right.
Because there's plenty of room right.
Right.
And I blocked this thing 80 yards to 100 yards right. Into the trees. And I thought I might have hit it out of bounds.
Right.
With a 5
Which
iron.
would have been devastating.
Yeah, which would have been awful. And to be fair, if my ball went out of bounds there, I would have been upset, but I deserved it.
Right, you would have understood.
Yeah, I'm I can't expect that to stay in bounds. And luckily it did.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then I hit a lob wedge and like hit it thin because I was on dirt into the bunker. I don't even know how I was able to achieve a fried egg. That was really, really difficult. I was like, why did I just hit a fried egg when the bunker's running away from me? Whatever. Now I'm just venting.
Right.
This isn't a venting podcast here.
No, I loved it. I mean, it just felt like you weren't getting good breaks and you were hitting some good shots. And when you got a good shot, you know, you're able to like capitalize, which was great. Like when you were in those opportunities to score, you did score.
Yeah.
And you know, you had the mental in it for pretty much the whole time until day 2 around hole 14.
Yeah, and that was when we were both a little hungover. It was hot.
Like we were running on E at that point, and it was just to try to limp it through the finish line.
Yeah, and you know, I hit for the amount of fairways I hit a pretty decent amount of greens. I hit 9 greens on Saturday, and then I hit 10 greens on Sunday.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
It's a pretty good benchmark for me. 10 is my goal every time I play.
That's great.
Yeah.
Fun weekend. Can't wait to do it again next year. We expect, you know, bigger and better things from Andrew next year. I think you're gonna maybe win the A flight would be my prediction.
It's gotta be net though. Gotta be net. It cannot be
Some
gross.
of those guys are absolute sticks.
They're posting 140 was the winning score. That's 4 under.
Right. Gross.
Yeah, that's
tough.
I'm a good at least 3 years out from that.
Yeah, we'll see.
At least if I even ever get there, I would be so fired up if I got there ever.
I think you will. I don't think you're that far off. It's just you gotta get the driver's swing to a place where you're not missing like that crazily.
I gotta hit 8 fairways out of 14, and I gotta have the other. What was that? The other 6. I got to have 5 out of those 6.
Once you get rid of your big misses, on all shots, your big miss goes, and your big miss is now like off the green the second cut, or off the green the cabbage, or off the green the greenside bunker.
For sure,
those are your big misses. Then you'll be starting to score.
Sure. That's a good point. Yeah, I had basically
your big misses right now, like we said, are like 80 yards left.
It's bad, and like. To be fair, it's no excuses here to my golf game, but I'm trying to do maybe a couple things here and there.
Right.
Maybe the swing is not feeling perfect that day, so I'm trying to work through it and maybe try a couple things to get me back to scoring and playing some pretty good golf. And so, I think it's that learning curve. So we'll see what happens. I think we definitely need to make a couple more putts. I think that's where we're missing a lot of the scoring here. I think my longest putt that I made this weekend was like an 8-footer.
You also chipped in though.
I did chip in. That
was super cool.
That was probably it was the up and down when I went long was my favorite shot that I had.
Yeah,
and then that chip in. Something weird.
Was weird because I was on the green with you, and you're in like this weird like hill between 2 hills. The flag's like a little perfect distance for like a land and run towards it. It's a little downhill. It's like a white flag, so it's in the middle. And for whatever reason, I'm on the green. I see the flag leaning away from the hole a bit. Yeah,
towards me, right?
Right.
So if the ball were to go in, it would maybe hinder the ball from falling into the cup.
And I just didn't, I had a feeling you were going to put one close. I don't know why.
It's so weird.
And so I walked up, and in the middle of your roll, I'm fixing the flag. And I'm watching it track, and I'm like, this is going to be like either in it or right next to it. And I didn't want to yank the flag out just in case something happened.
Well, I'm not asking you to pull the flag out.
So I'm just sat there, and I just held it just right in the middle. Because if I let go of it, it's going to lean again. So I have to hold it. And sure enough, it hits the flag right in the middle of it and drops it. And I just move the flag a little bit off, so the ball just drops in the hole, and
that was an all-time.
Threw the ball back to you, and I said, way to go, buddy.
All-time playing partner move right there.
It was so cool to watch.
It was a weird feeling because I stood over it as like I could actually put this thing really tight. Not thinking in, but I'm thinking maybe within 5 feet would be wonderful.
Right.
And then you said something to me like, let's put this thing tight, huh? This looks great. This looks like it's teed up for you.
Because we had something similar to that before, and I thought you had another good one from that angle.
Something, I'm sure.
Yeah,
there were a lot of holes played this weekend. I think looking back on it now and then now looking forward and reviewing, I think for sure my driving game needs to be a little bit more consistent. Just like the wedge game, it needs to be controlled. It needs to have some accuracy to it. I think your routine is something that you got to keep very close to you at all
I want to get better at
times.
chipping.
I think, yes. I think spending some time on the chipping green is great. I think you taking that 50 or 55 and like chipping with just those two and maybe a gap wedge every once in a while if you want to play a little bit more of a bump and run situation.
Yeah.
I think it kind of just extends there and maybe getting rid of the chipper. It's kind of a bummer that has not really panned out for you.
Yeah, but it's fine. It was fun to just get and do and try.
Maybe it
just
makes
not
its way back
working.
in the bag at a later time, but I don't know. I feel like maybe you
The
might be
courses
leaving
we play, it's not really useful at.
because the fairways we play are not that kind of course. Like they're not that forgiving. It's not link style
Right.
where you can run things up there.
If I'm playing maybe a link style or desert course, maybe it might be fun to put in the bag
I think so too.
just to try it out. But
So
overall,
that-
what a great weekend.
And then, unbelievable weekend. And then I think, like I touched on it before, it's just we had a lot of great putts, a lot of 15 to 20 foot putts, and we never hit them past the hole. And a lot of them were right on line and like 6 inches short. I had about 6 all
yeah,
weekend,
you
and
had
I
a
think you
lot.
had like 2.
Yeah.
And so I know you're trying to not 3-putt. That's really the main goal from 15 to 20 feet. But being that a little bit better at putting where you're able to get it 6 inches past to a foot past, that's the sweet spot. And
That'd be nice to miss just 6 to a foot past every time.
Yeah. And because we're doing that short, though.
Right.
So you can do it. And so I think maybe it's something along the lines of, it's still tournament putting because there is that certain switch that you like have to turn on when it's the
Totally.
tournament putting.
You have to you be a bit more locked in. You can't just
Slap it up
blindly
there.
go up and slap it.
Exactly. So anyways,
Awesome.
I think those are some 3 good takeaways here. And
More to come. I have my other club championship and my other golf course I have still.
is it a 2-day event?
Yep.
Okay, nice, dude. Is that coming up like in a couple weekends?
I think a couple months.
Oh, really? You guys do
Yeah.
it at the end?
Yeah, it's towards the end
Okay.
of the season.
Okay, nice. You get a little bit more time to fine tune a couple things then.
Yeah, I have more golf this weekend. And I think of another tournament coming down the line. And so it's going to be fun to do. It's going to be a good time. But that's not the only fun event we had. We
No.
actually went to a baseball game. First baseball game I've been to in a year.
Dude, I'm wiped and it's Wednesday. I am gassed from this weekend
Yeah,
still, dude.
I took a nap today right after work. And
Gas.
it's been tough. It was Yankees versus Angels.
But what
Angels.
what a fun weekend, dude.
Unreal.
Unbelievable. A great baseball game to go to. If there's any baseball team that really has like a following, goddamn, it's the Yankees and like maybe the Red Sox.
Yeah,
But
they really travel well. The game's gonna be a little bit more rowdy, which is fun. Yankees are possibly in the front running for Shohei Ohtani right now. Yankees ended up losing. Angels won in OT.
Yeah, that was fun.
We left around the 9th inning just because.
Yeah, did you guys head out?
We saw how many people were there,
Yeah.
and we're like, we really don't want to get stuck on this on Monday night.
Yep. I'm there. I'm there with you, dude.
It could be an hour to get out of here or whatever, and then that's when it gets real tough. So
yeah,
we
because
ended up leaving,
then you're potentially going into extras.
which they did.
Right. And then it's like, okay, like how long are we going to stay if it goes in extras? It could be,
And I'm not like a diehard Angel fan.
it could be 12 innings, you know?
If I'm I've been to a triple overtime for Lakers before.
Yeah, that's different, I feel like.
Yeah. So was after the first overtime, no way we stay for overtime 2. Look at Madison. She's like, oh, we're staying for overtime 2. Overtime 3 hits. And we were
Like, well, we're already this far into
we're
it.
gassed at this point. But yeah, super fun. Some things I, want to mention about this, baseball game after watching and live. Shohei Ohtani is that guy. Very clear.
he is. He is that guy. It's very apparent, too.
7th inning, we're down by 2. Steps up to the plate. Everyone's on their feet.
You even call this thing, too.
Yeah.
You were like, someone's going to get a walk, and he's going to just bomb a home run.
Yeah, so you just need to get someone on base because he's going to step up and he's going to hit one. I just felt it. I think I knew where he was trending with
Weird.
this
You have this
game.
weird sixth sense about you, dude. Are you an alien? Yeah,
I always thought I had some weird
you did that with my chip, and then you turned to me. You're like, "Yo, it's his time. It's Shohei's time. Like I feel something coming from this man."
7th inning, we have a man on finally. We have to have a new pitcher. Have to have something happen.
Yeah,
It's like prime time for this.
Goes up there and just yeets it out of the park, dude.
Yeah, hits over like the longest part of the fence, center field.
And he's at that point, he's 3 for 3 in the ball game, and he's balling.
I mean, the crowd erupts. I watched highlights of the clip afterwards. The crowd's going crazy. It was really electric. But it's weird, you know. I'm going to shout out one of Timmy's friends, Justin Renaud, for this tweet. So if you don't know Angels baseball, which I hardly know much about,
it's hard to follow.
Owner was supposed to sell the team before the season. He's been sucking for a long time. We've had 2 of the best baseball players in recent history, and we can't win a game. Justin tweets that why would he sell the team, right? Because he's going to sell it the following year after Shohei's contract is up. Why would he do that? Well, he's already a greedy person. He's going to make as much money as he possibly can this year because of all the money Shohei brings into Angel Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Angels team is a small market team. Even though they have like somewhat of like a okay presence, but like overall, like the money in the Angels isn't that high.
Right.
And he brings in like weird Japanese sponsorships, like Pac-Man's like creator sponsorship, cat treats, like yogurt from Japan. It's very like Japanese advertising.
It's very strange. The cats were like very, very apparent in the advertising in the stadium. Mm-hmm. And even the fan makeup was actually a little bit, I would say like, you know, Japanese fans of Shohei.
Right.
Like,
and the big one, the biggest like Asian cities, like tourist cities for like, or not tourists, but like people who live there is like Irvine.
Yeah.
It's a huge Asian demographic. And of course the owner wouldn't trade Ohtani either because he's making money on him. So like it was, you know, you got to catch him while you can because he's definitely leaving at the end of the season and the ownership is awful. They're not going to trade him, which he's already made apparently clear that he's not staying with the Angels next year because he wants to win.
Yeah. I mean, that's why a lot of these professional athletes are playing. They just want to win. So, you know, go someplace.
It's just weird to see like the Angel Stadium was just...
Dude, he was rocking on a Monday night. I don't know what the fan attendance was. It was around probably 25,000 people.
There was a lot of people, and the advertisements are weird. The ownership feels weird. The stadium's kind of getting old. I don't know if you felt that vibe.
It wasn't... I guess it's not old. It's just not illustrious. It's not super grand, you know?
No, and they can't do that, but I think they could do something better than what they have.
Yeah, I feel like the whole water rock fixture that's in left center as well is also a little strange to me.
Very Disneyland-y.
Yeah, I don't really understand it. I never really understood it. I guess it's great for fireworks, but like if you want a stadium packed, like let's put some seats out there. Like, and then maybe do something fun above, like the Padres do, where they have like the water slide and stuff like that above the grandstand and seats.
They need like just move the stadium into like a funner area, but they're not going to. They're building that area out now.
Yeah, and they also have the breweries that are going for it though, and they have the train station that goes right to the back of the stadium, which is nice.
Right, the stadium needs a revamp. They could tear it down and do some stuff to it.
It was just a really fun game. I'm glad we made it out there. Thank you for the invite. It was a blast. I've been trying to go and watch Shohei pitch, and I'm going to be really upset if I don't see him pitch.
Wait for a game when he's pitching and just go.
Yeah, we got to just go. We got to just like mob it because there's never a player that's, I mean, who knows when the next player like this is going to come around because everything is becoming so specialized in sports. It's so rare for someone to become an all-star as a pitcher and as a DH. And he's done it 3 years in a row. So shout out Shohei Ohtani for just being that guy. And just
he really is that guy.
He's changing the game and he has changed the game. And I can't believe more people aren't talking about him. I mean, he's making his rounds for sure, but like
once he gets to a big market team like the Dodgers or the Yankees, it's game over.
He's like the grace of the god of baseball right now.
Right. I mean, like that's why the Angels need to trade him because we can actually get something for him, but the ownership sucks and they're not going to.
Well, you know, everyone's in it for the business, right?
But another fun little part about baseball, another hot topic is should umpires still be in the game of baseball? And, you know, I personally do think the umpires have to be in the game of baseball. But I saw this fun thing from like a AAA team or a AA team where the player can challenge a call, and the umpire looks at the clock behind, or not clock, but like a signal behind him, and it's a machine that's reading the pitch, and green means strike, red means ball.
Right.
And if a player challenges it, the ump looks, sees the light, and then he changes the call based on that. And I think if you lose the challenge, you only get like 3, but if you win one, you keep it.
Yeah.
Basically. And it's a quick, really, really quick way of fixing the issue. Now you have live umpiring still, which is super fun.
It's almost like tennis, right?
Right.
It's exactly like that.
So you just look, okay, it was in, whatever. So
yeah, you put your hand up or you signal to the third base umpire and you say, I want to challenge that or something like that. Right.
And then zooms in, bang, you see it. That's always fun when you see the highlight.
Yeah.
I don't understand how the tennis ball looks like that. They did the math and like this is the length of what this tennis ball is. Well, as if someone hits it harder and makes it smaller. Is that possible?
Are you talking like, wait, you talking baseball terms now?
No, sorry, tennis.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, okay, so someone hits it out.
Right.
And it's like that long, it's not a round tennis ball.
Right, it's very spherical looking. Right.
From the speed of when it's hit.
Right.
It's always the same shape and size, but that can't be possible.
It's not. I mean, it's the same thing because they have that for volleyball, like international volleyball. Same kind of dealio. So like the harder and faster the ball is going, the longer this like image is.
Oh, so it actually changes the size of the image as well.
It does. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just a stock same image every time.
No, they are hitting it around like 85 miles an hour a lot in tennis.
Right.
But like on serves when they're challenging it or like if it's like a drop shot or something, and I've seen that before where like it's a softer shot or like a lob shot, the shape is much more of a circle. Yeah, less more of like a crazy oblong.
So yeah,
crazy situation.
I do think umpiring still needs to be in the game of baseball just because of the history of it.
Have to have it. I'm right there with you. That was what I was going to propose. Something very similar to that.
Love it.
And if that is not working, and if that doesn't, because it needs a change. It needs a change.
Yeah, the umpiring has gotten so bad at points where it's ridiculous.
I don't think the umpire has gotten that bad. I think the fact of the matter is that all other sports have instant replay. And all other and you see the strike zone on the television, and you see it. That was not always used to be the case,
right?
And so we know that the strike zone is there, and it's tailored for every single batter, and it's right there on our screens, and so you can see it every single time when it's consistently coming in bad, or then it's like a strike and he misses the strike call, and I think it's the inconsistency of it. Right. I don't think it's really gotten much worse. I think it's just becoming more apparent because we are so much more that like technology and the visual aspect of it is so much more in front of your face that it's becoming more apparent.
That makes sense.
I mean, like, I don't think umpire is getting worse or better. I think it's just like, the technology is getting better. Let's just use the technology, like you said. Right. Let's just use that. The human eye is always going to be, subject to a little bit of like bias potentially. They feel pressure too. They don't want to mess up a call if it's right on the edge. Are they going to like ring up a batter on like bottom of the ninth with guys in scoring position? It's like, I don't know. Like you got to kind of take out as much of that as possible, but still stick true to its roots. I agree with you.
It's just gonna be a bummer when they challenge it, right? Umpire calls, ball or whatever, pitcher challenges it, and he nicks the corner. It's a strike 3 call, game over. Like that's gonna suck for end of baseball game.
But like it was a strike though,
right?
It's gonna be anticlimactic,
right? It's gonna ruin a couple of those things, but
it's the right call though, and I think I don't know. I agree with you. I do. I see the potential missed opportunity and like. There is a little bit of error in the situation, but maybe they don't even have challenges in the ninth inning. Maybe they use them all up. I don't know.
Who knows? I agree. It needs to change, but it's just, it's going to ruin like a situation or two down the line.
Agreed.
But another situation that may be ruined is the running back position in the NFL this year.
Yeah, dude. It's tough. I think it's a good thing for us to cover right now because the franchise tag deadline has passed as of Monday this past week here. I don't know, dude. I think it's the running back position. Something's got to change with this as well. We briefly talked about it, but I think that running backs, because of the way they come out of college and their peak physical years are the age of 23, 24 years old. And that's like it's a small peak window. You may be going to 27, 28. And
Right.
after that, you're on a steady decline.
The only person who's really changing that narrative is Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and I think it's because he's one so big and so durable,
Right.
potentially, and he does have a lot of speed to him. Because he just signed a 2-year contract, if I'm not mistaken, and he's 28 years old, which is huge. Like he's one of the last paid players that has gotten a 4-year contract after a 3-year contract after his rookie year, and has gotten a 2-year contract after that. And so the main focal points that we wanted to touch on are not Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley,
Right.
and Tony Pollard.
Yep.
But mainly it's Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs.
Right,
Mainly
because those
two.
two guys definitely deserve the cash. Josh Jacobs was the Raiders' offense at one point last year.
Yeah.
And Barkley is arguably like one of his better seasons, if not his best season last year as well.
They they contribute like 32 to 35% of the team's total yards in the entire year.
That's a lot.
And make up like 40% of the touches.
And it's a lot. But the only issue with this, right, is Derrick Henry one year went down after like having like a huge first half of the season. I forget the exact numbers. Let's say it's 1,000 rushing yards, right? First half of the season. He goes down for the second half of the full season. The Titans sub in like 2 or 3 running backs, and they go running back by committee. And they almost have the same exact numbers as Derrick Henry at like half of the price that they're paying Derrick Henry for. So the debate is how or what you can do as a team to figure out like how to pay these people or what they can do to be more valuable to a team. I think the true running back position, the Adrian Petersons, the LTs, these type of guys are gone with the wind. And from now on, if you want to be a running back and you want to get paid, you also need to be a wide receiver. You need to be a Christian McCaffrey-esque player.
Yeah.
You need to be able to catch the ball. You need to be able to block. You need to be able to run. You gotta be able to for them to throw you in any situation and figure it out.
You got to be a big utility player. And great, if you rush the ball 15 times, but you also have 6 catches and you're also running routes and blocking, now you're talking about massive, massive production for your team, because not everyone can do that. You got to really separate yourself. And it's a bummer to say, but it's the truth of the matter. And we talk about this all the time, and it's business. And franchises are not going to take a risk on paying someone 4 years, $35 million guaranteed, and
they're one bad hit away from blowing an knee out.
And they tear an ACL, and they're done because they touch the ball 27 times on the ground every single game.
And I think you need to figure out where to, I had this thought, why don't you let the running back have 100% touching the ball, right? Let's say 50 of it's running and 50 is passing.
Yeah.
And
just for the ease of the numbers.
Give them 25 touches a game running or whatever. I think you need to scale it way back. Let's say Barkley's in his prime. Let's give him the ball 13 touches to 15 touches, maybe less, running on plays that he likes to run, on situations that make sense for him where we need the yards or whatever, and have running back 2 and 3 fill in the gaps of where he's not picking it up at. But don't take Barkley off the field. Put him as a distraction with a play action block if you need to, or what I would do is always motioning him into the pass game.
Yeah.
And maybe he's just running a 5-yard out to drag another person with him. But I think you need to start being versatile. I would say passing more often. So I would say, let's say 60% of the time his touches should be coming from passes, whether it's like a little screen pass or whatever. Because for whatever reason, it feels like if you get outside the tackles, like, the meat of the defense, the injuries seem to be less. Like for wide receivers, they get paid more and they last a little longer. So maybe there's something to say about the people you're getting hit by.
Of course. That too. And I think it's traffic. And I think it's the weird falls, weird hits, the twisted ankles, the twisted knees when you're in the pile.
So maybe let them catch it in open distance. Maybe people need to get really good at the pitch and like really get mobile linemen to help them out. I don't know. But I would say 60% of what your offensive production should be from passing and 40% from running.
Yeah. I think it's a good way to factor it in. Obviously we're not professional play callers here or offensive.
I am. Madden would say differently.
I think if you're not going to, that is the easy fix. Here's a business fix that doesn't really make a lot of sense for the NFL, but it makes a lot of sense for the players. So I think in this situation, I was watching SportsCenter on Monday. The franchise tag for running back in 2017 was $10.9 million. Or sorry, back in 2020 was $10.9 million. Now the franchise tag is $10.1 million in 3 years. It's going down, which is crazy.
Can't go down.
It can't go down. So that's a really bad situation because you got all these defensive tackles, all these wide receivers, and all these quarterbacks getting paid big money, big guaranteed contracts.
Right.
Defensive tackles getting $80 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy cow, this dude plays half the snaps. He plays half the snaps on defense and rushes the quarterback and gets a sack once a game. And and he's balling. He's going to break a sack record if he gets 1 or 2 a game for the whole season.
Crazy.
And so I think it's really discouraging for these football running backs because they're also taking a ton of hits. They're busting their ass. They're putting their body on the line. And then after 4 years, you put in all this time and effort, and then you're not going to get a contract afterwards. I think there just needs to be some sort of grace period, or there needs to be a restructuring of the running backs' rookie contracts.
I love this pitch from you, yeah.
I think there's the positions that are the most volatile for injury and burnout, turnover rates the quickest. You need to have new contract lengths for those specific positions in those high turnover rate positions.
Right.
If you're really great, you should be paid after 2 to 3 years. That franchise tag should happen in your 3rd year of your contract, not your 4th. So then you're going to be, let's say you come out of college at 21 or 22 years old.
Right.
And that 2-year contract puts you at 24 years old.
And you're already got some millions in the bank now.
And now you got your standard rookie contract, but now you have age 24 through 27 to be your prime years. And so if you show that you are an elite top 5 player in your position in the league, then you're going to be paid that way as a top 5 player for the next 3 years of your career.
Right. Or if they're using you the most.
Exactly.
If you're a running back 1 for them, they should sign you like a running back 1.
Because they're going to get the best years out of you. You're going to be your strongest, fastest, potentially your most healthy. All of that is subject to change, especially the healthy part. But at least you have the guaranteed fact that they're no longer going to be on the decline. Then they're going to be playing really strong football for those 2 to 3 years.
Totally.
And then I think that solves a lot of this issue. Is the NFL going to go for it? I don't know. Are the franchises going to go for it? I don't think so. I think the NFL might back this more than the franchises do because the franchises are kind of finding a little bit of a loophole right now. It's I'm just going to pay the guys that are not going to get injured, that have a lot of impact on the game, more money so we get the guys we want and save money and just draft a 5th round running back. And we're basically going to get the same production out of him.
Right. And it's tough because now it's just running back by committee. I think what you said was one of the best ways of doing it. I think, if you're a kid and you love playing running back, you got to learn how to be really, really versatile.
Some guys don't have hands. You could learn how to be versatile, but some guys literally just really struggle to catch anything.
I know, but then you can't play running back. You got to be a slot receiver, or you got to be a middle linebacker.
You can't catch. There you go. You got to be a linebacker.
You got to play some
You got to be a corner. Yeah,
and that's fine. Then you just got to learn that. But maybe these are the players that you have a hard time seeing them where they might be on the football field. If they have some speed, I don't think you have to be lightning quick to be a running back in the league anymore.
Not really. it's nice to have a little bit of like top end speed.
I don't think you need to be lightning, like wide receivers, definitely lightning quick helps, but even slot receivers who are really slow, who just run really excellent routes. I think if you have a little bit of edge to you, you don't mind a little bit of punishment, you're really, smart, you can catch a ball, you can run, you can block. You're probably going to play running back now.
Yeah. You just need to be a good all-around football player. You need to have great vision as a running back. That's the one thing that they need to have. Great vision. That's I think one of the biggest keys. And then the shiftiness and awareness, football awareness to get through those holes efficiently. But, like cornerback and running back, I think need to have a little bit of a shorter contract because, again, once quarterbacks hit like 27, 28, you got to keep up with guys that are like 23, 24 years old and like, the most athletic, tall people in the league in the wide receiver position.
And you're on an island.
It's hard to keep up. Yeah, and you're on an island if you are just exposed out there. So, again, a cornerback and running back, I think, need to have a restructuring.
And teams will point you out, too.
Oh, they'll blatantly go after you.
Right.
Yes.
If you show any sort of like, I can't keep up, they're running everything at you.
Yeah.
Multiple pass options, their best receiver. They're going to motion to you. Like, you can't hide.
Yeah. I know. I'm with you.
But another thing that's can expose you is some good old golf, like a link-style golf course for the Open. One of the last major of the year, buddy.
I can't believe we're here now. It feels like the golf season is kind of just starting for us, but here we are, the last major of the season. And this is one I always look forward to because, again, it's kind of wrapping up the year. But I just love watching some link-style golf and the traditions that it kind of brings to the game. And it's just fun to watch on the telly because it's different. And something different is always nice and refreshing here. So I'm glad we're diving right back into this. I'm really excited, looking forward to this. Let's go over our bets real quick and what we kind of have going on and give a quick little recap. Because of our tournament this weekend, we didn't watch a ton of sports.
No.
So we didn't get to watch a lot of the Scottish Open. No big deal. It's okay. It's one we still gotta, it was fun to cover a little bit. And I did watch some highlights on it, so there was that.
Roy got the win, so that was cool.
Huge. Came in clutch, broke the heart of Robert McIntyre because he had the lead, and he's Scottish. So he was the hometown hero.
Oh, no.
And he was in the clubhouse at 13 under or something like that and shot a miraculous 64 on Sunday and just came roaring back. And Rory put his foot in hole 17 and 18 and went back-to-back birdies to close it out with a one-shot victory.
Damn.
And crushed that man's dreams.
That's pretty cold from Rory. I love it, though.
And it was great. He looks like he's totally freed up right now. But anyways, looking ahead now, I ended up having a slightly better edge.
I'm going to caddy for you, which is going to be great.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to caddy for you.
It's going to be all time.
We're going to do Mile Square, I think.
I think that's a great place to do it because it's also very forgiving on the walking as well.
Yeah, and we know the course and
it's going to be fun. It would be great content as well because we know what we're doing. It's not going to be like we're having to do crazy stuff on a new course. We're going to be able to play right into our it's going to play right in our hands. I think it's going to be fun. I also got a new little rangefinder, which is also nice. You can be zapping the pin for me all day.
Yeah, and then you got to write your distances down.
That's going to be fun. We're going to do it up, actually.
Yeah, I need to write your distances down.
I need you to walk the course the day before we play.
That's tough. I can help you out with the course when we get there.
Pick out my outfit. That's
right.
It.
I can pick out your outfit. I'm going to make you a sandwich.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'll make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh, love that.
Anyways, you get first pick for the Open, buddy.
Yeah.
So you went with who again?
I went with the defending champion of the U.S. of the Open. The last time it was at Royal St. Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the course
I
is
think you
called.
nailed it.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Love the confidence boost, even though my confidence ain't there. Last time he won the Open, and the last time the Open was held here at this course, Rory won it. And I think he's going to get the monkey off his back. It's been far too long since he's won one. It's 9 years, dude.
Dang.
8 years, forever. I think he's playing some good golf. So I rolled the dice with Rory, Risky to go back-to-back wins, but who knows? I think if someone's going to get it done, I think it plays into Rory's hands. That's why I went his route. Went with another guy here, Matt Fitzpatrick. Really, the golf course fits him really well.
He's played it. He has shots on it.
Yeah, he grew up like in the area. Again, local guy, and I feel like local guys play link style golf far better than U.S. players. Just in general, totally. I feel like, and same with the other way around too. I would agree. I would say the other way around. It works in both players' hands. And then a guy that is actually just having like a really sneaky, like kind of quiet good year is Denny McCarthy. Dude's like leading the whole PGA Tour in strokes gained putting right now.
Ooh, good pick, Dan.
And
didn't know that.
Yeah, and you know that you're gonna have to have that at the Open.
Roll the rock.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to, and like it's more about like just not three putting because you're gonna have constant 40, 50 footers with lots of wind,
right?
Because the greens are just so massive at link style golf. So that's why I went with that pick for my third pick there for rest of the field.
Awesome, buddy. I went with another clear favorite. Roy is ranked number one. Tied with him is Scotty Scheffler. Very clear why I went with Scotty.
There.
Ooh, very clear with what I mean. We're recording at what? It's 11 o'clock at night. A little inside baseball for people.
11:35, baby. We're pushing this thing deep tonight.
Yeah. So my apologies, but yeah, clear number one, Scotty Scheffler. Just been playing great golf, and it's gonna be fun to keep that rolling for him. Hopefully a putt.
If he can get the putter hot,
right,
something's really special. And like, how many bad putting rounds in tournaments are you going to have?
Until you figure it out.
I'm upset about one bad putting round or two bad putting rounds in a row.
He's been struggling.
He's been struggling for like the past 12 tournaments or so.
He'll figure it out.
I mean,
at some point,
if there's any sort of players that's gonna figure it out, it's gonna be a professional that like is in the top 5 in the world.
One of the best golfers ever possibly of our generation at this point.
He's going to figure it out. So, love the pick. You can't hate it. No,
then I went with a little undercard. Don't love it, but I think maybe if he came out and has had an okay year, Tony Finau coming in. He keeps the ball low. He drives it really well. Putts when the putter's hot. It's, he's doing really well. So maybe he comes out and does something for me.
He always plays better in the second half of the year as well.
So maybe he'll come out. Maybe he feels comfortable here. I think he won a tournament in Europe at some point, but I'm not sure. Anyways, Sahith Theegala for my third pick. Probably not the best pick either. Not feeling too confident. Sahith, he hasn't been playing great like mid to end of the season. But maybe he comes out, turns it up for the last major of the year. He's got his girlfriend with him, so maybe that might help him out.
And it's always a guy you want to pull for, right?
Yeah. So it'll be fun to watch. What a great podcast, buddy. We're going to end it off here with our 3 worst. And since we were at a baseball game, I think it's very fitting. Why don't we do the 3 worst parts of a baseball game?
I feel like I got a really solid list here.
I feel like I don't, so I'm going to lead us off.
Okay.
Number 3 for me. And we don't like doing for these 3 worst, the most obvious worst part about a baseball game, which would be like the prices. Everyone hates the prices. We get it.
Right. You don't want to pay $17 for a beer. I get it. We get it.
Sitting in the sun. That sucks. We get it. So we try to do like things that are not as obvious. So for me, number 3 would be the seats are always uncomfortable at a baseball game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad. I was on top of you. We were both like on top of each other.
You just gotta take the L. You don't realize how tight those seats are, but they are tight. And especially if you sit in the middle row, which we were, you gotta like go the excuse me route, and that's tough for people. And
the amount of times the amount of guilt that you feel when you're doing the whole excuse me, can you please stand up situation, it never feels like it's a good look.
But, that's what happens when you're in the middle. Those people have the freedom to do when they want, but it is what it is. Number 2 for me, which is so strange, it happened to me a lot, is when random people touch you when you're at your seat.
Yeah.
Like, the guy, like, kept reaching behind his buddy to, like...
It's just a weird situation.
And he's, like,
really
grazing my leg by accident, or, like, his arm's resting on my leg. And you kind of like move your leg for the guy to like move his arm because he doesn't realize it's not chair. It's just, part of the problems of being a taller man there. My knees are on the back of these people's,
dude,
area. So it's tough. But number 1 for me, which is all Something that we experienced twice at these Yankee Angel games are the fans. The fans around you can be really annoying. Like there's always a guy standing up for like no point, and he's blocking for whatever reason the whole batter in front of you. You have like two drunk guys arguing with you, like, or heckling somebody who no clue what is going on with the baseball game. They're just there to watch something. So I think some of these fans around you can be really annoying.
I think that's a good list, buddy. I love it. I love it. I think now that I'm re-looking at my list, I am going to change it a little bit because I just thought of something.
Okay.
And I'm going to do a quick little sub here.
Love it.
And so I'm kind of blanking on where I wanted to go now with that. Shoot.
No sub.
Oh, yeah. Number 3 for me coming in, I really think it's just like where the concessions are like located and the lengths that you need to go to get something sometimes.
Why is it only on that one side of the stadium?
Right. Like, why is it like the craft brewery is like only in left field? Like, why is the craft brewery only in left field?
Right.
Like, I'm on the first baseline.
I gotta walk all the way to the left.
Like, there's no way. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But sometimes I don't even know it's there. I would only know if it's like, I'm like a regular, or sometimes it changes on floor to floor. Mm-hmm. Like, let's keep the options open all over the place. You know, that's my number 3. And to kind of coincide with that a little bit is not like it's the whole like navigation and walking back to your seat after the concession. It's awful. So that's kind of like that's summed into like 1 right there, because people are like walking like they're on like a Sunday afternoon walk, dude, and they have no care in the world, and they're like 6 wide, dude, and I can't get around these people.
Right.
And it's not fun for me to be away from my seat for 15 minutes.
No.
And like the game is happening. My buddies are back at the seats.
I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta be there. Okay. Right. Number 2 for me is the bathrooms. It's just tough. A weird thing. Like people
stalls are on top of each other.
The urinals are way too close. And then the fans, it depends on where. I had a really weird like bathroom experience. That's why it's in my 2. And fans are like screaming at each other in the bathroom. Like not like yelling, screaming, like fighting, but just like chanting and like yelling ridiculous shit. It was just like, why are we doing this here? Let's put our head down.
Let's go pee.
Let's get back to the seat.
Right.
And like, you know, it's one of those, and God forbid you need to take a dump in there. Oh God. Terrible.
Not doing it.
Terrible. Don't even. I mean, I'm trying to go like top floor corner bathroom.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get least exposure for that thing, because I want no weird human interaction in the bathroom because I can't handle it. I can't handle it.
Yeah, I won't be able to poop either.
And my number 1 for me is obviously, I think this is an obvious one. You could throw a flag if you want to, because this is like kind of like a given, just like how expensive concessions are. But it's the parking and the traffic to get into the stadium.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, parking is up there for sure. I'm not throwing a flag on that.
Yeah,
I just find Angel Stadium's parking to be quite easy.
It's not bad
for a stadium, but I totally understand. Like if you're in one of these old school stadiums or like a football game, that it's just the worst.
And it's really not that bad. It probably took us like 20 to 30 minutes to like park and like get our like spot and like where it's at, and then walk into the stadium and like getting to us, like you know, that
it takes a hot minute to get going,
right? And then I think a lot of it too is that it's a bummer, because I'm thinking about leaving in the 8th inning before the game's even over.
Right, because you're like, okay, this is going to get so bad. Everyone's going to leave at one time, but that's just the dad in you now, and you got to just accept that, and that's okay. Right. My dad, I used to love it, you know, when we would leave early. He would buy us like an ice cream on the way out or something.
Right.
And then we'd throw on the radio and listen to it on the way home.
Yeah, that's huge. Got to have that.
And that was always awesome to have that, because then we would at least listen to what's going on. And now these kids have it on their phone, so like you could still watch it.
Right. So true.
Right.
And then I do have one honorable mention, and it's just like the random conversations where people feel like they need to talk to you because they're sitting kind of next to you.
Right.
That's my honorable mention. What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I always get those people who look at me like we saw some guy bring back dog treats from
because it's the Shohei Ohtani dog treat.
I guess
Japanese situation.
Came back with him, which was crazy. Guy was talking to us the whole time. Fans are flipping off my brother and Mikey, I guess, for being angel people. I guess a joke. It was just a little bit of chaos, but it's fun. It's a blast.
It's a good atmosphere. It's fun. The banter back and forth I can live with.
Right.
And like the chanting, it was not fun sitting in the Yankees like stadium inside over there.
No.
And so I get the banter. I do. It's more about just like, why do I need to talk to you for 4 innings? Why do we need to keep having so many conversations?
Interactions.
Like,
I actually don't mind sitting on the Yankee side, to be honest.
I didn't mind it. It was fun.
Just it
was especially fun when Shohei yeeted one out of there. Dude, we both got up in our seat, double fist pumping. Yeah. Just going crazy.
Loving it.
Yeah, dude. But there's no need for all the communication going on.
Agreed.
We're going to go our separate ways. Don't need to know about your dad and why you're here. And like, dude, I get it. Let's just crack a couple jokes. If we want to crack jokes, great.
Yeah, just a couple jokes. Or if you're actually into the baseball game and you can figure out I am too, then great, we could talk baseball. But like he had no clue what. Yeah, I get you.
So that was my honorable mention, and it's not to the fact that I'm being a grump, but
I agree.
I'm here with some buddies,
people I want to talk to,
and the game.
Right. Like you're like you're a side quest in my story I have right now. I don't need to talk to you.
Bingo.
More than just a joke or two.
Bingo, exactly.
Awesome, buddy. Another great podcast. That's number 23 in the books. You got anything for the people here?
Bang. Number 23 in the books. Sure, I got something here. We might touch on it a little bit next podcast. I don't know how this one slipped through the cracks, but shout out to maybe the next up-and-coming superstar in tennis.
Oh, yeah. Love that. We're going to have to touch on that.
We will. We will because we have the U.S. Open that's coming up for tennis over in New York, and I think that's going to be special. So shout out Carlos Alcaraz. I really didn't think Djokovic was ever going to lose, honestly.
No, I didn't either.
I didn't see it coming, so shout out. He played an unbelievable match, and we'll touch on it some more in the next one. And I'll send it back over to you, bud.
Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Shout out to Madison, Devin, and Jake. Couldn't do it without you guys. We don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. And just a reminder, keep swinging.